Ninja, the story of the gamer who changed everything. Before millions of people knew his name, before the blue hair, the sold-out events, and the massive streaming numbers, Tyler Blevins was just a kid who loved video games. He wasn't born into fame. He wasn't handed a career. And for a long time, there was no guarantee that gaming would ever become a real future for him. But Tyler believed in something that a lot of people around him couldn't fully understand. He believed he could make a life out of playing games. That belief would eventually turn him into one of the most recognizable gamers in the world. His story begins in the Midwest, where Tyler grew up playing video games with his family. Like a lot of kids, gaming was fun for him. But for Tyler, it became much more than entertainment. It became a passion. He spent countless hours playing, learning, competing, and trying to become better. While other people might have seen a kid sitting in front of a screen, Tyler saw an opportunity. And eventually, he decided to take that opportunity seriously. After high school, Tyler went to college, but gaming continued to pull him in. He began competing professionally in games like Halo. The money wasn't guaranteed, the fame wasn't there, and there was no clear path to success. Still, he kept going. There were moments when choosing gaming as a career probably looked crazy. Imagine telling someone that one day, millions of people would watch you play video games. Back then, that idea sounded almost impossible. But Tyler wasn't interested in what was considered normal. He wanted to see how far he could take his dream. He started building a name for himself online. He streamed his gameplay and slowly developed an audience. The growth wasn't instant. There were no millions of followers waiting for him. There was just Tyler, a computer, a camera, and a dream. And he kept showing up. That's one of the most important parts of his story. He didn't become ninja because one lucky day changed everything. He spent years building the foundation before the world noticed. Then came a game that would change his life forever. Fortnite. When Fortnite exploded in popularity, Tyler was ready. He had already spent years developing his skills, learning how to entertain an audience, and understanding what made live streaming special. Now the world was watching. And suddenly, Ninja wasn't just another gamer. He became a phenomenon. People weren't only watching him because he was good at the game. They watched because he had energy. He was loud, competitive, funny, unpredictable, and somehow, he made watching someone play a video game feel like an event. Millions of people began tuning in. One of the most unforgettable moments came when Ninja played Fortnite with rapper Drake. It wasn't just a gaming stream anymore. It was a cultural moment. People who had never watched gaming before were suddenly watching Ninja. The world was beginning to understand that streaming wasn't just a hobby. It could be entertainment. It could be a career. It could become something enormous. And at the center of it all was a guy who had spent years believing in something that many people once considered unrealistic. Ninja's popularity exploded. His followers multiplied. His name appeared everywhere. He became a face of the gaming industry. Companies wanted him. Brands wanted him. Fans wanted more of him. And for a young man who had spent years grinding in relative obscurity, it must have felt surreal. But success has a strange side. The bigger you become, the more people expect from you. Ninja wasn't just Tyler anymore. He was Ninja, the character, the brand, the personality, the expectations. Millions of people were watching, and that kind of attention can be difficult to carry. Every stream mattered. Every decision could become a headline. Every mistake could be criticized. The same internet that helped build Ninja could also become overwhelming. But instead of disappearing, Tyler continued evolving. He explored opportunities outside traditional streaming. He appeared in advertisements, worked with major brands, made public appearances, and expanded his career. He wasn't satisfied with being known as just a Fortnite player. He wanted to build something that could last beyond one game. That's important because gaming trends change. Games disappear. Audiences move on. But a person who can adapt has a chance to survive. And Tyler understood that. There were also difficult periods. The gaming world changed. Fortnite's dominance shifted. Streaming became more competitive. New creators appeared. And the internet moved faster than ever. For someone who had once seemed almost untouchable, staying relevant meant constantly reinventing himself. But perhaps the most powerful part of Ninja's story isn't how many followers he gained. It's how long he worked before the followers came. Because when people see the superstar, they often forget the years nobody was watching. They see the blue hair. They see the millions of fans. They see the money. They see the success. But they don't always see the thousands of hours behind it. The practice. The failures. The uncertainty. The nights when nobody cared. The moments when giving up would have been easier. That's the part of Ninja's journey that matters. He helped prove that the definition of a career was changing. A kid could sit in his bedroom and build an audience bigger than television shows. A gamer could become a celebrity. A live stream could become a global event. And Tyler Blevins helped make that future feel real. But perhaps his biggest achievement isn't simply becoming famous. It's that he took something he genuinely loved and refused to be embarrassed by it. He believed gaming could be more. And eventually, the world believed it too. Today, Ninja's name represents more than Fortnite. It represents an era when gaming stepped out of the shadows and became mainstream entertainment. His journey wasn't perfect. It wasn't always easy. And it definitely wasn't overnight. It was built one stream, one game, one viewer, and one decision at a time. That's why the story of Ninja isn't really about a gamer who became famous. It's about a person who kept believing in his path long enough for the world to finally notice. Because sometimes the dream looks ridiculous before it looks brilliant. Sometimes everyone else sees a waste of time while you see your future. And sometimes, the thing people tell you will never become a career becomes the very thing that changes your life. Tyler Blevins started with a controller and a dream. He ended up helping change an entire industry. And maybe that's the real lesson behind Ninja's story. You don't always need everyone to believe in your dream. Sometimes, you just need to believe in it long enough to prove them wrong.